It is sprint qualifying weekend at Brazil. Welcome to the Pit Wall, your stop for fantasy Formula One content. It is but mere hours between the end of free practice session 1 and qualifying when your teams will lock, and you need last minute observations to help you with deciding your team lineup. You've come to the right place. I'm JJack, and let's go. Here, free practice session 1 is ending. Here are my initial reactions. AWS is projecting that Hamilton will be fastest in qualifying. Makes no surprise. He just got his new engine, but then he's going to take a 5 grid place drop, which is going to be advantageous for him, especially if you don't want to have to deal with lost positions, because he's going to start 5 places back when the race starts. He'll easily get those back, get his bonus points. Then it's followed by Verstappen, Perez, and Bottas. Now here we see Gasly in 5th position, even though AWS is listing him at 8th spot. Gasly is the weakest of all 20 drivers as it comes to how he performs over the sprint race qualifying weekend. He has an average score of, get this, -1 points. Gasly, though, has been turning things around recently, so he could be someone that you would want to consider. Sainz and Leclerc, strong Ferrari performance. Stay away of McLarens. Notice how low they are. Someone might want to take a chance at either Ocon or Alonso, because Alonso takes advantage of sprint race qualifying and passes so many people. I have included a special tab on the Google spreadsheet, link will be in the description below, that includes all the performance by position during the last 2 sprint race qualifying weekends, and we'll be updating the Brazil information as this weekend progresses. But here's what I want you to notice. This is the average position. This includes free practice sessions, so you want to take that with a grain of salt. But here is comparing how they perform in free practice session average position, qualifying average position, the sprint race average position, and the race average position, recognizing there was only 2 events, but the people that we want to see that have big trends. You'll notice that Vettel, he is very consistent until the race, and that's where he seems to be losing his positions. Same with Verstappen. He has DNF'd both races during the sprint race qualifying weekend. Russell, he seems to be improving his position compared to free practice and going into the qualifying, sprint race, and the race. Same thing with Ricciardo. He performs compared to his free practice session and how he goes during the rest of the weekend. Same thing with Norris. Hamilton, he would be higher if he didn't have his DNF with Verstappen at Italy. Bottas, he actually has the strongest performance. Part of the reason is because in Italy he took an engine penalty and was able to recover well. Hamilton taking his engine penalty may swing things. These are the points scored for each driver and shows their average. Bottas leads with the most points scored over the 2 sprint qualifying race weekends, and his average is 49 points, followed by Norris with 47, followed by Ricciardo with 43 points, Leclerc with 41, Hamilton with 33. Then we get the surprises. Alonso 28 points, Perez 25, Sainz and Stroll 22. You're almost 20 points for Russell, and then you start falling off real quick. And this is why I want to share with you this graphic right here. So you can see very clearly who seems to be performing the best over the sprint race qualifying weekend format. You have Bottas, Norris, Ricciardo, Leclerc, Hamilton, Alonso, and you go all the way down. Now, like I said, Verstappen's in the middle of the pack because he's DNF'd both races. But that could all change this coming race because Hamilton taking his engine penalty will not hopefully be right next to Verstappen at any point during the race. They might be close to each other during the sprint qualifying race weekend, but that will at least protect Verstappen from a potential DNF. Now for my lineups, Team 1, my steady team, try to make minimal substitutions. Team 2, my day trading team, you'll see that it has 109.7 million, which is greater than a 2 million between the 2 teams. There's not much that I'm going to want to change on Team 1. I'm trusting that Gasly is actually going to pull it through. The one potential is if I wanted to take advantage of the Alonso trend, that could be a potential. I'll have to think about that. Now on to Team 2. I'm dropping Ricciardo. Stay away from the McLaren mess. That guy got me 0 points last week. Leclerc, Sainz, Red Bull. Now, last time though, Gasly got more points than Sainz. Not only did he set the 5th fastest time during free practice session 1, AWS is saying that Gasly should be qualifying higher than Sainz. But AWS is also saying that Ocon and Alonso should be qualifying higher than Gasly. So then I can make a decision. I can drop Sainz, keep Leclerc, and then I can either go with Ocon, maybe. I think that Alonso has much more power ability with his passing. That would bring me even on 0. Or I could pick up Gasly. So I have an option. Sainz, Gasly, Ocon, Alonso. I've got many options for my 5th driver. Before I forget, I need to make sure to make a drive Verstappen. I'll save that, and then I will make my final decision on Team 2 shortly. I want to promo for you our 1 race challenge. Submit 1 team, get your 1 shot to get in the top spot. And if you are one of the top 3 at the end of this race, you'll get a podium ceremony at our next Pitwall podcast. You'll find the code in the description below. Love to have you on board. You got last minute decisions, put them in the comment section below. We will pour over it with the minimal data that we have. It's going to come down to gut feeling and what you think is the trajectory of those drivers going to the race weekend. And until next time, I'll see you on the pit wall.